Hello and welcome to Marcella and Friends. Where on any given Monday or Tuesday we come anywhere between the 6:30 p.m. hour to the 8:30 p.m. hour, and we come on, we talk about purpose, and I invite you to some of my amazing super friends. I am so grateful that you are here and joining us tonight. Let me just take a moment because I understand that many of you won't see this live, but you will see the replay. So I welcome those of you who are watching the replay. I want you to feel free to comment. I want you to feel free to use the hashtag replay. And I promise you that anything that I miss in terms of your comments, I'll come back and I'll say hello to you again. So I'm grateful and I'm so happy to be here with each and every one of you. I'm asking that you would take a moment, those of you who are joining us live, to go ahead and like this broadcast, but also take a moment to share it on your platforms. I would appreciate that today. So I'm excited because great things are happening. And despite all the chaos that is happening in the world today, I am so grateful to be in the land of the living. I don't know about you, but I am so happy that I am still here. So, as we're taking a moment to just share this, I'm asking again that you would say hello in the comments and that we'll just take a moment to share this video with those. Because I guarantee you that you will hear something tonight that will literally bless your soul. We talk about all things purpose because we know that in order to be effective in this life, in order to enjoy life in its best form, in order to be your best God self, you have to walk out and walk in your purpose. So, without further ado, I am going to bring one of my amazing super friends on the stage with me. And I know y'all say that you say that all the time. And that's right, because I have some great and amazing super friends who are doing great things in the world. And I just count it an honor and a privilege and a pleasure to be able to introduce you to them so that you can hear how they are walking in their purpose driven life and how they allow their purpose to cause them to be effective in the earth, and they do great things in the form of services, in the form of events. And so today is the same. Everything you all have seen me bring some amazing people on this platform, and I will continue to do so. So at this time, I am going to bring my amazing super friends, Miss Jaquetta Thomas, to the stage with me. And I want you all to take a moment and welcome her. I want you to take a moment to say hello. I want you to take a moment to just embrace the gift that she is in the earth. I'm telling you, I got some amazing super friends, y'all, doing great, great things. And so, Jaquette, I just want to say thank you for joining me tonight. I thought of you when I was just thinking and I was putting my schedule together because I know you're doing great things. I know that you have a passion and a heart to just provide services and knowledge and resources to help people so that they can live their best lives. And they're doing, and you're doing such a great thing. I've known you from when you was this big. I don't know if anybody could see this little dot. I've known you. And I've watched you grow tremendously. I've watched you become an amazing and a beautiful woman. And I am so glad that you have taken time tonight to join me on Marcella and Friends. So as I welcome you, I want you to go ahead and introduce yourself to the people. Tell them who you are. Tell them the amazing super friend that you are. The floor is yours.
Oh, well, thank you so much. I'm over here trying to hold it in, but I count it as a privilege and an honor. I'm honored to be here. And it's just amazing. God is at the center of all I do, and just amazing to hear and to know that what I'm doing is truly not in vain. I'm just so used to being in motion, but being stopped, being told, the thank yous, the recognition I don't take it lightly. Thank you. So I'm Jaquetta Thomas. I'm a realtor. I'm a licensed realtor. I'm also a real estate consultant and a developer. So I bring all ends of the spectrum with real estate. I bring a unique perspective to clients out there, and I love to educate. And that's one of my missions, to educate people on how to buy, sell, invest, expand portfolios, build in real estate. So
Awesome.
that's what I'm doing here on this earth.
Okay. And let me ask you this, how long have you been doing
By trade. Mhm. So it's about actually 13 years now
Wow.
operating in the
So
realm of
you
real
literally
estate.
started when you were 2?
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
So you've been
And
doing this
actually, when I
for
started,
13
I
years?
was, mm, yeah, 13 years.
Wow.
Yes. And it's been a blessing and an honor because no matter what, God was really at the center of it all.
Right.
And
And
that
so
was just beautiful to see.
you've seen the real estate market go up, down, sideways, to the left. Tell us about the changes and the differences that you have seen in the real estate market since you've been doing real estate.
Wow. So I can honestly say, even before I had a license, I started off as a young landlord. I invested in a multifamily and I invested in a climate where my value did not move at all. My value stayed the same, but the cash flow is what kept me going from collecting the rent. But I remember a time where my value did not increase. I also understood the stock market and understood that some investments you have to just hold on to and be patient with. And when I entered the market with real estate, that was my level of understanding what the asset that I had. And within 5 minutes, the market just doubled out of nowhere for me, experiencing that. And during when it just doubled, I'm like, whoa, now I'm seeing the fruits of my investment. And it was just, I remember it being really life changing, to be honest, literally. So I've been in the swing in a market where it's not doing anything. I've been in the swing where, it's doubled. Then I got my license, and that was a whole new ball game. We're working with, individuals now trying to buy homes for the first time. I even was in the market for a little bit when the housing market crashed.
Mhm.
Right before I bought my first home, I was out there looking during that period, and good thing I didn't because a lot of people were underwater. It just they were in loans that did not make sense, unfortunately. So
Yeah.
I feel like I've seen enough in a lot
Yeah,
of it to know how to navigate.
yeah. And so here on Marcel and Friends, one of the core things that we talk about and that we do here, we talk about purpose because I understand that there is power in our purpose. I understand that each and every one of us, we have put on this earth to for a particular reason, and each of us we have a gift. So in talking about purpose, tell me, what does purpose mean to you, and how has purpose impacted your life in terms of what you do?
Oh, I love it. That's a beautiful question. And when it comes to purpose, the first thing that comes to mind, and in my experience and with my walk, my spiritual walk with our Heavenly Father, knowing whose you are, why
Mm.
you were created in the first place, the awareness of the power and presence of God inside of you, and also literally seeking and finding. I remember literally praying and asking God, literally, what is my purpose for being here on earth? Have this. I'm sorry. I think I'm sorry if you can hear me.
Yeah, I
Having
see.
that level of awareness, seeking, finding, literally asking God, getting that clarity and that understanding. Once it's revealed, now you understand what it means, what your assignment is here on earth. Because I have that understanding that it's just not about me, it's beyond me. God
Mhm.
uses us as vessels, and it's important for us to understand what that means.
And so knowing all of this in terms of what you do, how does you talked about a time when you were looking and the housing market crashed and you had a house at one point and it was not bringing anything great other than they was paying the rent. How has purpose and knowing and understand purpose allowed you to, how have you been sustained because of knowing what your purpose is?
So I remember a time after I prayed and asked God what my purpose is, there was literally an event that I went to because I needed more understanding of how it ties into what I do on a daily basis. And I've been doing real estate for such a time. I remember being at an event, it was a vision board event, and I ran into a young woman. She just came up to me, "Hi, I'm in real estate and I'm a healer." I'm like, whoa. She did not know that God revealed to me when I asked what my purpose was, God showed me healing. And
Mm,
God used her to help me fully understand how it goes hand in hand and how I'm operating in real estate. My purpose on here is one of the major purposes to help heal God's people. But God literally showed me the blending of it. So God has been at the center of everything that I've done in real estate. I've used my home to help house people that
mm,
have been having a hard time with finding places to live, getting approved and everything. I gave my assets to God. I gave that home to God. And when I wasn't even operating in my purpose, I was. What's in you comes out. It's
mm.
just when it all clicked and I finally had that level of understanding and God using that young lady to help bring more clarity for me to understand that what I'm doing right now is all hand in hand. I'm not only helping people to get their homes or to expand their portfolios, but something has to happen in that process. And after having that level of understanding, I would say, God, thank you for trusting me. Thank you for using me because as it unfolds, now I see why we're working together. A lot of times, hope has to be restored. Healing, healing is broad.
Right.
Sometimes it's not just a physical ailment or a illness, but sometimes, it's the mental part of it, it's the emotional part of something, that people are dealing with. There was a season, and in real estate, I'm telling you, going eyes wide open, there was a season where I had widows as clients.
Mm,
There was a season where I had people that were working professionals that were homeless. You wouldn't know they're still showing up every day, but literally, that's when I was able to see. I want to say about probably around 2017, 2018, maybe about what's that, 5, 6, 7 years ago, like
mhm.
really what that means. And now it's all coming together for me. Now I'm fully understanding purpose and what it means to walk in it and how it means like every day I'm operating in it and what that means even for what I do with real estate. So God has kept me with me using my assets, giving it back to God, helping to be a blessing with housing people and even with my clients, showing as we go together in this journey and the unfolding of, okay, they needed their hope restored. They needed faith restored. It was a faith walk. They never really knew what it meant to be on a faith walk and to trust God completely. So seeing all of that unfolding through the years, it was just truly amazing.
No, that's awesome. That's awesome. And so, I think of you when every now and again I'll run into somebody who feels like, you know what, I'm not even thinking about getting a home because it's just like it's not something that I would ever be able to do. Nobody in my family has ever owned a home. We've always rented. And so when you say the things that you just said right now, I can see how the hope that you bring to people when you have that conversation with them. And so, especially we live in New Jersey. New Jersey is very expensive. I've lived in Texas, I've lived in Georgia. I felt like when I lived in Georgia I was rich, when I lived in Texas I was rich, and then I came back to New Jersey and it was a whole different story. But I
Mhm.
still know and I believe that even in the midst of everything being the way that it is and high as it is in New Jersey, that there are still possibilities. So, what do you say, and what would you say to a person who may be watching this tonight and they say, you know what, they're talking about real estate? I'm not even interested in that because that's something that is above me. That's something that I probably would never be able to do because it's just not something that happens for me. What would you say to that person?
So, and that has surfaced before. And the advice that I give is A, don't count yourself out.
Mm,
And to literally watch your thoughts and watch what's coming out of your mouth. Because our thoughts can take us places that are not true.
right.
We cancel things out. And sometimes, and I tell people, let the professional tell you where you are in this process. You know, at least do that before you count yourself out, because come to find out, once we navigate through that and I get people on their journey, they're closer, they get approved, right? That, after they do the consultation, submit their information, they were closer than they thought. And
Wow.
I say oftentimes it's not as far fetched. And even if you got to have an action plan, you're working towards something. Now you're being intentional. So it's not far fetched. And that's why, also, I cannot work with everybody. I don't give the average advice. And that's why I like to have my mandatory consultations, because I keep God at the center and I can't help but to talk a certain way.
Right.
I operate and I live by faith. And so it is in my business. I'm trusting, I'm believing in God every step of the way. We're in a crazy market. Do I subscribe to that? No. I tell people there is no competition, even though there may be 17, 20 people bidding on the same home. If it's for you, it's for you. I, c- I can't talk to everybody like that with that advice. So I need to know that we can work together and we're not working against each other, because I'm on the faith walk and I'm about that faith life. And I just need you to, I always say, trust God and trust me,
Yeah. No,
but
that,
don't count yourself out.
yeah. Don't
A
count
lot of
yourself
people
out.
think, exactly. They think they gotta have, oh, I gotta have this set amount of money, my credit score gotta be here. But I'm like, you don't know. With my professionals, did you know that even a score as low as 580 can start you on your journey? I'm not encouraging, for people to have their low credit scores, but I'm just saying you're counting yourself out and not knowing that you can probably even start the journey where you are.
No, I
So,
like that. You said don't count yourself out because you can start the journey. And it's a journey. This walk that we live, this purpose that we walk out, it's a process and it's a journey. And when you count yourself out and when you don't step up to the plate and when you just forget, because a lot of times people just forget whose they are, right? They forget whose they are. And when you forget who you are, you limit yourself in order, you limit yourself from the blessings that can be assigned to you. Because
so
sometimes we're
true.
our own worst enemy. We're our own worst enemy in our thinking, how we see, what we do, what we go. And so a couple of weeks ago, I had Marvin Gray on here. You know Marvin. We know
Hmm.
James Gray Marvin, and he deals with credit. And he was saying something very similar to what you said, that you can get started. And so I love the fact that you said something that was so important. You said that I can't work with everybody. And that's one thing, people, when you know, that's why it's important to know your purpose, why you here, what you've been called to do. Because when you know your purpose, you understand that you have been assigned to a certain set of individuals. And when you know that, you're okay with not working with everybody. You're okay with not fitting in with everybody. You're okay
Yes.
with standing out because you can't stand in, because you understand your purpose, and your purpose is geared towards a specific individual that you have been called to speak life to. And so, what happens when you understand your purpose? I don't say we got to find it, we uncover it, we discover it.
Hmm.
I believe that we have all been born with purpose. We came
Right.
here in purpose, on purpose, and with it with purpose. And I say purpose is tattooed all over us. The problem is that we allow a lot of times the cares of this world to deter us, to distract us, to take our eyes off of the purpose, and then we feel so lost. But I
Right.
encourage you tonight that if you are feeling lost and you just feel uncertain and unsure and you don't know which way to go, I encourage you to talk to God, have a conversation with God, and allow Him to uncover your purpose so that you can rediscover your purpose and be everything that God has called you to be. And you can walk in the blessings of God. You can own homes. You can do so many things. God does not have respect of persons. It's those
Mhm.
who are ready to raise their hands, to get in the game, to walk it out, are the ones that see the manifestation. And so talk
Mm.
about the housing market right now. So someone may be watching, they're like, I'm just not into it because it's not going anywhere. We thought that after COVID, the numbers were going to go down, and it seemed like they stabilized. We hear people saying it's going to crash at some point. We thought it was going to crash before, but it's still going to where it is. What are your thoughts regarding the housing market right now?
Yeah, and so we're constantly in this discussion, constantly in discussion with lenders and looking at forecasts and things. So they're expecting interest rates, especially if you're using mortgage financings, they're still hovering around between 6 and 7% if you're not paying with cash. It's right now, it's a seller's market. There's no doubt about that. But there are still people that still need homes. I said, no matter what, we're not robots. We still need, there are still people that need places to live. And no matter what the market is doing, that's not going to change. So I tell people, this is the advice that I give. You're dealing with the elements of the unknown, but it's best to, I say, jump in, but with your best informed decision. Keep your budget in mind. I work off of numbers. I'm a numbers person. I have also like a banking and finance background, so I lead with numbers. I like for people to know where they are. Where, if you're interested in a home, I put the numbers, work with the lender, put it in front of them. Stay within your monthly budget where that mortgage amount works within my budget. That's how we lead. That's how I lead with my clients. Because interest rates, it can cause your purchasing power to decrease, your mortgage, monthly mortgage to increase, depending on the purchase price. Because interest rates, they're hovering around between 6 and 7 something percent right now. And even if that doesn't changes, what can remain constant is your budget. So it may mean that we're reducing your purchasing power to stay within your budget, but I always say there's still a house out there for somebody as long as you remain open. And it
Yeah.
is happening. I'm out there with my clients, and people say this and that about the market, and I'm not saying things are not true, but you got to focus on what you want to accomplish and making sure it works for you.
So
I
what
always say faith works backwards.
Yeah, no, it does. So let me ask you this. What's the story? Tell me about a story of one time where you had a client and their situation didn't look the best to the average person, but you continued to walk with them, and it seems like something amazing or miraculous happened for them.
Woo, funny you said that because I actually was contacting them, going to contact that client to see if they're going to join me in a live in a few weeks to tell their testimony. Because when they started, they thought their credit was in one place, but it wasn't. Their credit score was in a place where they couldn't even get a mortgage. But you know what they said to me? Can you trust me, please? I just embarked upon, I just got into my own business. I'm picking up these contracts. If you trust me, I will get my credit and all the money that I need. Now, I have preferred lending partners. I don't work with every professional either. I told my lending partner what was going on. They was like, you know what? All right, I trust you. So we started that journey with them. They got their action plan. Their score was in the low 500s,
Wow.
but they kept their word. And that's a part of being righteous, also. Being a man or a woman of your word. She was a woman of her word. She did whatever she had to do to get those contracts in with her business, got her score up. And when she was ready, the lender submitted her application. She was able to get a beautiful home with an in ground pool. What
Wow.
seemed impossible, she was working with another lender. I had to switch her because, like I said, I can't work with everybody. I got to work with somebody that can see that vision and
Yeah.
trust and believe with me. So we pulled together that dream, that divine dream team, I called it back then. And I will never forget that story. The lender had to trust her, I had to trust her, she trusted God. We all were trusting in our own way every step of the way. But she wasn't qualified in the beginning. She didn't even have the score to even get a mortgage, but she stayed in motion. And that's one of the things I will sound like a broken record on. I will tell my clients over and over again. I know it looks crazy. I know this is what you want, and people are telling you, no, you can't even get it right now. Stay in motion. Stick with your action plan. And she did, and she got it. and everything worked in her favor. She told her testimony, people didn't even believe her because she worked it up to get it to a credit score at I think she was still a little below a 600, and people still didn't below how she was able to still keep going with the mortgage process. They couldn't believe it. But it matters in who you're connecting with.
Wow. And
I
so it's
loved her test and I'm that's kinda like a watered down version, but I love her testimony. I know it's watered down,
Wow,
but it seemed like very impossible. It seemed impossible to a lot of people.
right. So if someone is so you talked about so you we talking about your purpose as a realtor, you do real estate and you teach real estate investing, you do that. You've been in this game for well, I don't want to call it a game. You've been on this journey of purpose on this particular doing this for 13 years. And so what are some of the things if I wanted to because I recommend everyone to you. But if someone is maybe watching this from a different state, because we know Facebook is all over, and they said, you know what, I've been trying to find a realtor, but I just haven't had any success. What are some things that you would recommend to them in their searching for a realtor?
Yeah, that's a good question. Statistics show that the average person knows about 12 realtors. So,
Wow.
um, nowadays we don't have to go too far because we may not know, but we know of, I would
Hmm.
say interview that person. You want to make sure that they're a knowledgeable professional. You want to be able to convey your needs. You don't know everything, but a lot of people know like, hey, I'm a first time home buyer. Is there anything that I can get? Any benefits? You want to talk to that realtor. And I always say, like, in your own way, interview them because it's like you're hiring that professional. It's not only, what they can do, like just them opening doors, they have to bring you through a whole process, and it doesn't matter what state you're in, it's a process, and you need a knowledgeable professional that can understand that, bring you through it, have the patience, the knowledge, the experience, and can help meet your needs. There's some clients that really can use the assistance of a first time home buyer grant or whatever is out there. And it's important that you as a professional knows how to access that for your clients. So no matter what state you're in, I would say anyone that you know of that's a realtor, set up some time and interview them and get a sense of their, I always say, spirit, energy, and you'll know if you're meshing, genuinely meshing with someone, and if someone can like really bring you through that process.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you for that. So do have another question. So if someone who was like me, I'm 61, and you know what, I probably got, my best years are behind me. And you like, oh, but I do in my heart of hearts, I want a house, I want some place for my family to come or whatever. But I'm probably too old to get a house right now because I'm in my 60s. What do you say to that?
So what I'll say to you, aunties, or anyone, you're not too old. And actually, I am on a mission. And I'm educating people also on how, even in your 50s, 60s, 70s, wherever you are, how you can help use your real estate, your assets to help further secure your retirement and possible long-term care. There's people need to understand, I want to say, the benefits, all the benefits of having an asset and what it can do for you. Um, this is actually an upcoming seminar that I'm going to be planning. But when I think about that, my mom, she just turned 64, and knowing what I know now, it's like how you can use real estate to not only help secure retirement, but if it comes a time where someone wants to shift into a facility or anything of that nature, how what you have can help subsidize that. It can help pay for that and things of that nature. And not only that, but build and establish a legacy for your family. And it's not too late, and you can get into something that suits your needs. And there are communities also, like with 55 and up communities, that you could purchase into at a very affordable rate, that you can have secure, put your assets into a living trust. You talk to a professional about which one meets your needs, but these all go into play with helping to secure further secure your retirement and any long-term care plans that may surface. So you're not too late, not too old for that, I would say 61, 60s, even in your 70s. Because I talk to my clients, I have clients of all ages, and I'm here to educate. And that's one of my, I love to do that. That's one of my passions. Or not just, oh, buy it and, have it, pass it down, but no, how this can really help you right now.
No, that's awesome. So we talked about the
And I
older
hope that
ages.
helps.
How young do you have to be to purchase a home?
You could
How
be at the
old?
age of 18
So
purchasing
18.
a home. You can, well, as long as you're like, if you're, so here's the thing, if you are using financing, like mortgage financing, you need
Mhm.
to be old enough where you have income coming in and they have to source and vet your income. But there are people that put their children on their deeds and they're not even at the age of 18. So there are
Right.
some youth that are on the deeds of homes already and they haven't gone through the process, but because their parents have put their names on the deed, so by default they're an owner. They have ownership attached to a home. So it's kind of, to answer that, it's kind of layers to it.
Okay. And so why
Yeah.
would
So
what does that benefit the parent to put their child's name on the deed? Because people, this is information, like you said, you like to educate. And a lot of us, because um, our communities, we were not raised to about finances, real estate, and all of this kind of stuff. So it's just information we just don't know.
yeah,
So
yeah.
why would
And
a
I've
parent
been saying like,
want
Lord, I'm on a mission.
why would a parent want to put their child on their deed?
Well, that's another easy way. It skips a whole lot of red tape. They don't have to go through the bouts of trying to get financing to acquire it. But the caveat is they'll be technically in ownership of that home if the parent wants to sell it and they have their child's name on it. Whoever's name is attached to that deed, you have to go through all the names that are attached to the deed, like with that sale. So anyone attached on that sale, it's like, just like, I want to say, how some parents put their child's name on their credit cards as an authorized user to help
Yes.
build their credit.
Mhm.
So with a home, like for a parent, and actually, I know I had a client that did this. They already owned the home and they just added their child's name to the deed. So now they have ownership of an asset. They already
That-
have a portfolio started for them. The only caveat is like if they wanted to go out on their own and take advantage of like first time home buyer, this, that, the caveat is they're not considered a first time home buyer because they're on the deed of a home. So
Right.
it's important to understand some of those nuances, but some of my clients have done it. It's like a jump start. Now my child is in ownership of this.
Mhm. No, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Hmm.
Now, so I heard you say like you have a dream team. So explain that, like the different resources and the different people that work with you and help you to help your clients on their real estate journey.
Yeah, so I reference my team of professionals as a dream team. These are professionals that have been vetted, tried and true. That's what I
Mhm.
always tell my clients. I like to be a one-stop shop. And I don't like my clients to feel like they have to go everywhere. Okay, now I need this. Let me go look for that. But I'm like, there's no need to search. These people are vetted. They're men and women of their words. They respond. They're not out here to kill a deal or make your life miserable, or be condescending. They have patience, and they understand walking by faith. That's a part of my team. They understand the moves that I make. Everything that I do, sometimes it doesn't make sense. It's all for my client's benefit, but sometimes I'm out there on the ledge. I'm not going to lie. With how I negotiate, where I take things, and I need people behind me that will understand and rock with me. And I need people to possess that positive and abundance mindset because what people come my clients have all different kinds of amounts, but I'm believing in God with you. You're getting your home regardless of what your pre-approval amount says. But my dream team, these are a team of professionals that I pull on. They assist me with my clients. My clients don't have to go far. They're tested, they're tried and true, they're trustworthy. They understand a certain mindset, possessing a certain spirit, patient, and know they're professional and know how to work with clients and get them to the finish line. To me, that's my dream team.
Mhm. No, that's awesome. So do you have an attorney who you work with, who works with you? You have an attorney, you
Yes,
have
I have a list of real estate
lender,
attorneys. Hmm.
you have inspection people.
Yes, that is correct. So, real estate attorneys, lenders, and I'm using plural because it's not just one,
Right.
and these are built from relationships that I've cultivated through the years, close, near, or far. So they're real estate attorneys, they're home inspectors, they're lenders, they're contractors, there's builders, there's electricians, there's plumbers. I don't like my clients to look far, and I like to be a resource. I've been like that since I was a young girl. When people have a question, I like to be able to just point somebody in the direction. I don't know everything. What I don't know, I'm pointing you somewhere. That's just how I've always been.
I like that. So the one-stop shop. You say that one stop. They come to you. In addition to the information, you have this team that they work with. But the one thing that I so loved about what you said is that they have a realtor who is touching and agreeing with them, who is believing God with them, who is seeing beyond where they are in the moment, who is standing with them. That is so powerful within itself. That is so powerful in itself. And I see how that your purpose of when you talked about healing and giving hope, I see how all of that works together. That's pretty amazing. And so
Amen.
you
Thank
you
you.
talked about some upcoming things that you had. You said you have a workshop that you're going to talk about some of the things that you do because your word was educate. You said that several times. So talk about some of the things that you do and that you have upcoming as it pertains to you walking in purpose of being that resource and educating the people. Share some of those things with us.
Sure. So one of the things that I do weekly, I try to do weekly, is a live. Going live on Facebook. I educate people on all things. We talk, pick a topic, and I talk all things real estate. So on the live, I'm also educating on the topic, various topics in real estate. I also do consulting. Um, I do virtual consulting. So people also hire me to help with strategy. Someone to buy, they want to invest, they don't know where to begin, where to start, how much they need. So I do strategy sessions. I do
Mhm.
that one-on-one virtual strategy sessions. I also, God gave me a youth and real estate program that I'm about to launch. I'm getting things together, but I have something out there for the youth to empower the youth, to encourage
Awesome.
them to go and possess the land. Okay, so houses and land. I'm on a mission, so God gave me that, and I'm going to be launching that soon. And also, I'm literally in the process of curating a seminar for in real estate. Not only buying, but the topic is going to be around buying, acquiring real estate, and also protecting it. Because one thing, we're fine. We got the money, we can go out and get our real estate, but I've also seen people lose it.
Mhm.
One lawsuit wiped out everything. So I've been on a mission and I've been educating myself. And I'm like, thank you, Lord, that now I'm educated and I obtained another license too. So now I could go help your people protect what they have. And I've
Mm.
seen a lot with these transactions. People pass away before the transaction's over, or they get very sick. And then things just go left. I've seen people lose it in so many different ways. I'm like, we still have more work to do. And not only knowledge is power, but applied knowledge is power. So
Yeah.
I'm curating that type of seminar. And I will definitely keep you and everyone posted on when that is. I'm trying to do this before the year ends. This year's going by so quick. But
Yes, and
yeah, I have that, and consulting, and then also what I do with my license. People can hire me to buy, sell their real estate, rent. I work with landlords, first time home buyers, investors. I work with them all.
That's awesome. How many in your 13 years, you don't have to be exact unless you just know it, but how many houses do you think that you sold in the last 13 years?
I should have paid attention to my numbers. And the thing is, and I've been nominated for awards, and they're like, "Oh, do you know you met the transaction threshold?" To be honest, and it's sad that I can't even answer that because I always, just like how I tell my clients, I just stay in motion. And you know what I always say? I'm like, stuff got to get done. You
Yeah.
know, God's people need help. So I haven't even like, somebody always has to sit me down, like, okay, you met that threshold. I haven't even been paying attention. So I need to honestly go back and look at the number of homes that I've transacted on, you
Yeah,
know,
because
because it's so
that's
much.
a part that's a part of your journey. That's a part of your testimony. And that's a part of the fruit. That's a part of the fruit in terms of who you are, because we talk about purpose, and there's so many people, they think their purpose is one thing, and when they try to do stuff, it just goes left. But we
Mm,
know we in purpose when we see the fruit of what we know that God has called us to do. And so that's your fruit, and you should honor your fruit, because your fruit is God, thank you. I have
mm,
sold over, even if it's an estimate, I have sold over 5,000 houses in the last 13 years. That's the celebration of who you are
mm,
and what God has called you to do. That's the celebration of and the reflection of who you are in God. And a lot of times we
amen.
feel like, oh, that's not being humble. No, it's giving that is giving glory to God within itself. When you can say I sold over 5,000 houses in 13 years, whatever the number is, whether it's 10, I've sold over 10 houses in the last 10 years, that's giving glory to God, because you still here. He gave you the grace to go through, He gave you the grace to endure, and you have been a light to so many people who didn't even think that they would be able to go
Mhm,
through this process. So I think that's information you need to know for yourself.
mm.
That's your hope.
Thank you. Yeah, yeah. Thank you for sharing that, and I'll do better. And it's me, like I'm by nature a very like what can I goal oriented person.
Right.
Once I set out, like I'm going, and then what I do is I'm helping people accomplish their goals. So I'm just fixed on that. But yes, I will take that advice.
Right.
I'll
Because
do
you
better.
have
I'll
to.
go and
So if you don't celebrate, you have your goals, you're helping people with their goals, but if you don't take time to celebrate the goals, there's so much more that can happen in the midst of a celebration.
that's so true.
Because in that
Yeah,
celebration is you don't have to say the words, but you giving glory to God. Because you know it wasn't on your own.
absolutely. Oh yeah. And one thing I do celebrate. You know, I bring gifts and I celebrate that we got through it and God graced us. And nine times every closing is a testimony. But what
Yes,
I need to do is go back and pay attention to what the actual, you know, what that year end number is.
that's right.
Yeah.
Because
But
it's
definitely
important.
I'm
And
grateful.
it's what God brought you through and what He brought you to. And it's yeah, you need
Right.
to be able to say that. And I think that's pretty amazing. And I'm so grateful for the great things that you are doing in the world. I'm grateful that you have embraced your purpose and you continue to do things that are necessary to help people experience home ownership, to get the knowledge and the wisdom. Because just think, if you were not in place in purpose, these people, those thousands of homes that you sold, yeah, they probably could have got somebody else, but it wouldn't have been the way. Because when we have purpose, there are a certain group of people who have been assigned to us, right? And there's something that's so amazing that we have to give to them, and it helps take them
Right.
to the next level. So if we're not in purpose, if we're not embracing the gift that we are and walking out the purpose that God has created us to move in and to be in, then we're causing someone else not to be able to walk out the blessing that God has for them, because they
That is
are
so
in
true.
searching for us, right? They're
Mm.
searching for the gift of you. They're searching and waiting for you to get in purpose. And a lot of times we focus on so many times of what we can't do or what we're not or who we're not. And we don't do it like them. We don't do it like that. But God created you in purpose, on purpose, and He knew that you would be you. So embrace who you
Mm,
are, understand whose you are, and walk it out. Because there are people sitting and they're praying and they're hoping that you would get in place so that they can find you, so that you can help them, because you are the answer. You are
right.
someone's answer. And I heard someone say this, and I wish I could remember who said it, and I don't. The person said, I don't even remember if it was a woman or a man. They said, God saw a problem in the world and He created you. How powerful is?
Wow. Wow.
So
Yeah.
we owe it to ourselves to walk in purpose. We owe it to ourselves to embrace who we are. Those are things that we've been through in our lives, the hard times, the challenges, the different things that we experience, the fact that we're still here. Our past does not dictate our future, but it creates lessons of blessings that we can use to empower us today. You owe it to yourself, and you don't have to look like this person or that person.
Right.
There is an authentic you that is the answer to somebody's problem. And
Right.
I encourage you tonight to get in purpose, stand in purpose, seek purpose out. You don't have to find it. You need to uncover it, rediscover it so that you can be everything. Your joy is attached to your purpose. Your
Mm,
wealth is attached to your purpose. Your
mm,
blessings are attached to your purpose. So when you stand in purpose and walk in purpose and when you know purpose, when you go through hard and challenging times, it causes a bounce back because you know that you're in purpose.
mm,
So purpose is we gotta know, we gotta walk in purpose. The late Miles Monroe, Dr. Miles Monroe, he said one of the wealthiest places on earth is at the local cemetery. Because so many people died with their gifts, with their talents, with the books in them, with the invention in them. They just took it all to the grave. So the graveyard, the cemetery is worth billions of dollars.
mm,
So
mm,
let's get
mm,
in
mm.
purpose, y'all. Let's walk in purpose. Let's be everything
Amen.
called us to be. And so, Jaquetta, thank you so much for just taking time to be with us tonight. I'm
Mm,
so looking forward to the amazing and great things that you will continue to do. I know that God will continue to use
mm,
you. I know that you'll continue to help people and to bless people. So I want you to give some words. I don't want to say closing words because you're not closing, you continuing to move on. Give some
mm,
words, tell people how they can get in contact with you, and tell them if you want a home, you can have a home. If you want a
mm,
house, you can
mm.
get in the process, start the journey so that
Yep.
you can get everything that you need. So I want to give you an opportunity just to share some words before we end this broadcast tonight.
Yeah, sure. Woo, this is powerful. This bless my soul. God sends beautiful reminders also. And as I'm, operating in my purpose and what I do, helping God's people, these reminders are still very helpful. It's a lot. But I want to encourage you, do not count yourselves out. And as men and women of faith, we got to remember the power of our words and the power of our thoughts. And then the word says it's a daily renewal of the mind. And more with this walk, I understand why it's a daily renewal. Every day we have to renew our mind and our thoughts. And go back to the word. What did God say about possessing the land? What is God's will for our life? It's your birthright. And that's what I had to remind myself. Even as I climb higher and higher for what I want to do and achieve, I'm like, you know what? It's God's will. It's my birthright. So I want to encourage you to speak life. Faith works backwards. Focus on the end result that you see your home, you see your first investment, you see whatever it is that you are looking to get and obtain. You got to see it and believe it. Trust God, trust the process. Leave all the in between up to God and detach yourself from how it's going to happen. Because that's where we get tripped up. That's where you get weary. That's where you give up. Focus on that end result. And I'm not too far. I'm on Facebook under my first and last name. If you don't have my number, you can. They make it so easy now. You can send a message. Sister Marcella, knows how to reach me also. But I'm on Facebook under Jaquetta Thomas, and there you will see, all I post a lot of my real estate endeavors, the work that I do, my Facebook lives. That's a way to connect me there. I always post on social media what's upcoming, any flyers and everything. So, if you're connected to Sister Marcella, you'll be connected to me. So that's a beautiful, easy way to connect with me. But I'm a natural encourager. Don't count yourself out. At least take that first step. Have a consultation. Consultations are free.
Yeah.
Take that first step and let somebody else tell you what's required or what your action plan is. So at least give yourself that much to do. So that's one of the biggest things that I will say over and over again. Don't count yourself out. Take that first step. Stay
Yeah.
in motion.
Yeah. I like that. Don't count yourself out.
Do not.
All right,
There's
man.
nothing too hard for our God.
Yes. And so before we want to go, I want to invite the ladies out to December 28th, 2024. Listen, every year I used to do ladies' night out, and I have not done ladies' night out since 2019. 5 years later. So we are coming back. It's ladies' night out, ladies in red. We're going to be at the Pine Manor, enjoying ourselves, having a good time. And I invite you, if you were with me in the past, you already know how we get down and how we have such an amazing time. So the tickets are available now. I invite you to come and join us. Ask anybody who has ever been, they will tell you that you need to be in the house. It's for the ladies. Listen, the holiday ends. For you mothers, you get everything together for the kids. The grandmas get everything together for the grandkids and all of that. This is about you. You finish with them. December 25th came and it's gone. And now it's time for you to get yourself together, put on that red lipstick, get your red dress or red attire together, put on those high heel shoes, and come on out for an evening of fun, fellowship, good time, dancing. I'm telling you, we're going to have a great time. So this is your personal invitation from me for you to join us on Saturday, December 28th, 2024 for it's Motivate and Pray. This is our fundraiser, Ladies Night Out, Ladies in Red. And this year our theme is I Choose Me.
Mhm.
Okay. So I need you to choose yourself and make plans to join us. So, Jaquetta, thank you again. Thank you so much for being with me tonight. I'm going to have you come back again because we're going to talk about stuff. I probably need to get you and Marvin and some other people so we can get the information out to the people so that they can know. For those who are feeling stuck, we're going to throw the rope down and pull them on out so that 2025, by the grace of God, can be an amazing year. I don't care who's in the White House. We serve a God who can do anything and everything.
Right.
And so we are committed to
Yes.
getting you the information, the resources, so that you can experience the good life God has blessed you, has promised you. His promises are yes and amen. And so you deserve to be able to walk them out in your life. So we want you to be blessed. Listen, on any given Monday or Tuesday, be on the lookout, Marcella and Friends, where I introduce my super friends, just like Miss Jaquetta here. And they come on
Oh,
and we talk about purpose and they share their products, services, and any upcoming events. So until next time, y'all be blessed. Have an amazing night, sweet rest. And let's come on, y'all. Let's get together. Let's build wealth in our communities and let's make our lives great again. All right. Y'all be
yes.
blessed now.
Thank you.
All right. Don't go anywhere, Jaquetta.